It means almost everything to me. I know it might sound strange. I mean, I've had a wonderful, wonderful life, but this is just an absolute extension, and it's superb.
It's given me a second chance to play something I've always loved.
I would say it's actually 2 words, it's life-changing for me.
I do notice on the Monday, Wednesday and Thursday, the 3 days I generally play, I'm up like a lark. The alarm goes and I'm up, dead keen to get me breakfast and get out there.
It just helps you stay fit. There's a lot of banter going on as well, so you have a good time. And when you leave here, you're happy and you've worked hard, you've got something out of it, it's good.
It's nice to have that feeling again where, without trying to be too rude, get all nice and sweaty, which is a feeling that I hadn't had for, obviously prior to my operation, for a number of years. So yes, it's massive.
I just loved it because, you know, the camaraderie of all the lads there is just fantastic, you know.
It's just great. It's so important to really my working week as well. It helps me get on. I run my own business, but it helps me sort of relax and forget about some of the things that are, you know, those day-to-day things that are difficult to get through sometimes.
There's people turn up week in, week out, don't know anybody, they're made to feel welcome, they get on the pitch and they just love every second of it. It's absolutely brilliant.
I was one of 17 that turned up on the first night, which were fantastic numbers, so I could have walked away, but it was sort of, I was already there and the girls seemed really nice, friendly, chatty, and I thought, oh, come on then, in for a penny. Don my trainers and not look back. Absolutely love it.
If religion and politics separate people, sport brings them together.
You can't beat a team sport because people just sort of have the banter and laugh and joke, and socially it's just great, and people have lost weight. I mean, I lost just over a stone playing football, so.
This morning I was just bantering away with one of the chaps I know relatively well, and he said it saved his life because he had a stroke 10 years ago, and it's just been wonderful for him.
We can talk about the health benefits, which extend to mental benefits as well. But more than that, I have to say, it's just fun.
And to be able to play again 30 odd years later, I can't tell you how great it makes you feel. And I think everyone at the club will tell you exactly the same.
In 2011, John Crute of Chesterfield Football Club invented a unique sport aimed at creating health and social benefits for its participants. Incredible success followed, and 6 years later, walking football is one of the fastest growing sports in the UK, with 1,000 clubs enabling over 30,000 players from all areas of society and across all abilities to enjoy the sport on a regular basis within their communities.
Walking football in my life means a lot, you know, because it's now like 3 days a week I can be playing walking football if the legs allow. You know, if you've got an interest whatsoever in doing it, it's good for fitness, it's good for health, and it's good socially. Yeah, so it's great, you know, it forms fixed points in the week, you know, and other things can be arranged around that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the time I've been coming down here playing.
You know, we take the mick out of each other, it's a bit of banter, and it's really, really good. So I got involved because I thought, yeah, I'm not getting any younger, I need to get a bit fitter. So I came along 2.5 years ago and I've never looked back. It's fantastic.
I think because I'd played football before, you know, the rules are fairly simple to understand really. Apart from the fact of you can't run, it's just getting to sort of use a gait that's actually, you know, you can move quickly enough to be able to compete with the other people on the field.
It's lively. You can have a little bit of banter with the referee when you don't agree with his decisions. I had my very first goal disallowed by the referee, which I wasn't happy about because it was quite a big deal for me, you know. Got my new trainers and I wanted to score.
If you played football previously and you don't play anymore, then this is the place to come because you will find a session that fits your ability and your requirements. If you've never played football before and you're apprehensive about it, it's still the place to come. So it doesn't matter if you have played or you've never played, you'll find something here to suit you.
Some of them hadn't ever played football before, and they'd be, where do I stand, where do I go, which way's the goal? And I'd be saying, or a few of us that have played would be saying, defence, stay at the back, attack at the front. And now the difference, people are like moving about and playing football.
It's a heck of a laugh, you know. Well, that's how I treat it anyway. I just think it's such good fun, you know. Still think I can play a bit, but the other lads will probably tell you different.
And it is just great fun. And I'd encourage anybody to get out and do it, because it is something that you can't beat.
We've made new friends, we meet socially outside of here as well. I've taken a group of walking footballers to Alicante for tournaments abroad, and whereas the football comes into it somewhere down the line, you feel you're trying to control a bunch of very energetic cats. They are really going back into their childhood and enjoying every minute of their lives.
Somehow walking football levels that playing field and we all play together. It means that there's a really supportive culture in walking football. We all make mistakes, everyone, and we laugh at each other and we laugh with each other and we get on with it. People are very, very supportive, and that's affirming. That's brilliant. You feel good when you leave afterwards.
It just did so much for me in terms of I found myself less stressful. I found myself getting a little bit fitter. Probably the biggest thing that shocked me is it completely changed my perception of age. I was only 54, and like I guess a lot of people my age, you kind of think, well, that's it now. Sport's gone, a big part of my life had gone, and then all of a sudden you're mixing with people who are much older than you, much fitter than you, and it changed how I perceived the rest of my life. Rather than thinking, oh, the best is over, I actually thought, you know what, this is actually really exciting, and it's like a new chapter in my life.
The sport is now well and truly established and has its own national governing body, the WFA. So what is walking football? Here's Steve Rich and Paul Carr of the WFA and the inventor of this unique sport, John Crute, to tell us more.
My name's John Crute. I am currently Chief Executive of Chesterfield Football Club Community Trust. The idea for walking football came about from a grant that we got from the Football Foundation to work with older people, or people over 50 anyway. And I was sort of thinking, we need something to get the numbers, and football is what we're about really. So I thought, well, what are the barriers to playing football? Running was one, contact, things like slide tackles. So I sort of thought about it that night, and then the next day I got all our coaches together and said, look, what about walking football? We were really just doing our job and doing what gives us pleasure in that, getting people out playing sport. I'd given them a list of rules, and the coaches went and did the sessions. And from early on it was quite clear that it was going to be popular. But the following week we just got absolutely inundated from other football clubs, community trusts, and also from local authorities sort of saying, can you send us the rules, can you tell us a bit about it? And it's just grown and grown. It's a bit surreal really, to be honest, and it's astonishing how it's gone.
I'm Steve Rich, 56 years of age, been passionate about football all my life until I got hit by a car at 26, and out of the game for 30 years until I was told about walking football. And it's one of those bolts and lightning moments, and I knew I could get back into the game without the relative risks and injuries. Walking football is pretty inclusive, and with some variations of rules that take into consideration the ages of the participants and the pace of the game. There's primarily 6-a-side. There's an overhead restriction, so the ball has to be played primarily to feet. You can play indoors or outdoors with barriers, and obviously there's the no running concept. Any ages can play, from your junior kids right the way through to senior grandparents. So over the last few years, from the initial first year of say 80 clubs, we're now into almost 1,000 clubs in England alone. I had no idea that the game would grow with this popularity, so that for me is immensely satisfying.
I'm Paul Carr, I'm age 62. My background is that I'm a chartered accountant, retired, and so I then decided to go to university. So I'm now in the process of studying for a full-time degree at UCFB, the Football University, for studying football business and finance. Basically, to keep myself out of mischief, I decided to go and play walking football in my spare time, and also a way of keeping fit because I've got diabetes. Hence, I went to walking football probably 2 or 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. Really loved it. I decided that walking football was probably a fantastic subject to look at because it was in its early days. And then I met Steve Rich, who was running Walking Football United at the time. And we had a good lunch, talked for about 5 hours about how we saw walking football developing in the future. Decided that it was in need of some direction. And I thought, this needs a national governing body. I looked into it, there was no established national governing body for the sport itself. So I set one up in conjunction with Steve Rich. It's the Walking Football Association, or otherwise known as the WFA. It's the national governing body for walking football. Its mission is to promote the sport and also to effectively encourage activity amongst over 50s adults. We've already had some success getting support from the clubs. We've got some funding, which is great. Obviously, we're looking at getting further funding from the likes of Sport England. Sport England's strategy is to tackle inactivity, and that's precisely what walking football does in the best way possible. At the moment, we have probably just under 1,000 clubs that we are aware of. There are probably more than that in terms of clubs that are off the radar. On an average membership base, we'd say that means there's about 25,000–30,000 people playing walking football at least at the moment, which is a healthy number for a relatively new sport. If people want to find out where to play walking football, they can look at the WFA website, which is the wfa.co.uk website, and that will have a directory of clubs. Obviously going to be a lot easier to play nowadays because most towns will have a walking football club nearby. So you should be able to find a club. If you can't find a club, contact us and we'll help you set up one.
Walking football's popularity is growing extensively across the UK, and with its diverse, inclusive approach and obvious benefits for participants, it's easy to see why.
I'm Stephen DIXON, I'm the Sports Engagement Coordinator. I work for WIGAN Council. The Back to Sport programme is a public health funded programme. One of the target age groups for public health was over 50s because I can slip into that habit of not being active. So hence why we tried walking football, and it's proved to be a huge success. Speaking to many of the guys, their feedback is, they weren't doing much. Now they're really active 2-3 days a week. We started September 2014, so we're coming up to 3 years. Initially there was literally 3 or 4 people turned up. A little bit wary, to be honest, of I don't really know what walking football is. And then over a 5 or 6 week period, then there was 10s and 12s come in. Obviously they started to tell friends. Before we knew it, we had a regular turnout of about 20 people, exercising over 2 pitches. It was initially over 50s, and now we've got over 50s, over 60s, over 70s tournaments that the players enter, and without them people working hard behind the scenes, obviously there won't be that opportunity for everyone to get involved. I think it's over the last 2.5 years, it's definitely been one of my favourite sessions. I think mostly because the guys appreciate it well, they really appreciate it. They're here week in, week out. You don't see that drop off of people. They just love engaging, reacquainting friendships with people that they may have lost over time, and building new bonds and friendships with people. And more importantly, just getting active and enjoying it.
So many people want to get involved with walking football that sessions and clubs are being set up across the UK. At Birmingham, the club's open door policy aimed at walking football for all is proving popular.
I'm Paul MURTAGH, I'm chairman of Birmingham Walking Football Club, which is part of Beechcroft Tennis and Multisports Community Club. I was asked to get involved in this club by my business partner Matthew Corp, who is a tennis coach. I am a part-time football coach as well and manage my children's football teams. So obviously my background is football as a hobby. People don't stop playing football because they don't like it anymore. They stop playing because they feel they can't contribute to the fast-paced game that is football. And I think with this brand of football now, they have far more accessibility into the game. They get so much out of it. There's, you know, from the obvious advantages physically, weight loss and exercise, and also you have the social side of things, getting out there, meeting new friends. The social networks that some of our players have now are, you know, far and away more than they had previously, and they get so much out of it. We have 13 sessions that run. We have different categories. We have over 40s, over 50s, over 60s, over 65s, over 70s. We've started a ladies only session, which has proved very popular. So of course they get the social interaction and the bonding with the game that they love as well. We have a less mobile session, and we also have a session that targets isolated individuals. We have now about 325 participants that participate over those 13 sessions in the week. I think this is a giant. I think the door's being opened to so many different people, all different walks of life, all different age groups. I can only see this growing and growing and growing. The health benefits are massive, and I think that interacting with local organisations, with authorities, with the NHS, I think will be part of the norm, and I think it'll just grow and grow and grow.
The future for walking football is bright as the game continues to grow in the UK and across the world. Here's Paul Carr again.
We are aware of at least 25 countries now where walking football is played, and that's from Australia to Uganda. And there are also a number of European tournaments that have already been played in places like Portugal, Spain, Holland, and English clubs are being invited to play in those, but there's also local teams playing in there. So it is gradually moving away from the UK. It was obviously created effectively in England, in Chesterfield, but it's no reason why it shouldn't be played in all countries around the world. And we are, part of our mission obviously is to promote the sport in the UK, but we would also hope that we can help get it known and played elsewhere as well. So we're hoping in 2019 to run and host a European tournament with probably 16 teams, and a more ambitious plan is to host a World Cup in 2020, and that will be with 32 teams. So that's something we've got to work on, and obviously it's going to be a challenge, but we hope to achieve it.
Whatever you want to get from walking football, be it playing, refereeing, organising or just spectating, the WFA can tell you how to get involved in your area via the website, thewfa.co.uk. It's time to begin your walking football journey, but don't just take my word for it.
I am married to Stephen Rich, who took walking football from its small tiny roots to where it is now in the whole of the country. I've decided now that I want to take it forward myself and join in to be part of what he's doing and to support him and hopefully be part of his referees course that they're going to start up and running. In the next 3 to 5 years it's going to get bigger. He's getting emails from all over the world already, so I know it is going to explode.
Come and join us at Walking Football. You'll love every single second of it.
All I can suggest is that you come along, join us, because you'll really enjoy it, I promise you.
Come and join us, give it a go.
If you're out there and you're watching this, do come along, do have a go, and I'm sure that you really, really will enjoy it.
Go on, give it a go. Come and join us.
You'll never do anything as good as this. It's just absolutely fantastic. You think you're a young fella again.
Come on, come and join us.
It's absolutely wonderful. So, you know, come along, play, and I'm sure you'll love it.
So come along and join us. You'll get lots out of the session, you'll meet new people, and I guarantee you'll be smiling at the end of the session.
Go on, come and join us at Walking Football.
Come and join us. It's great fun.
Come and play ladies walking football. Just give it a go.
Give walking football a go. You'll never regret it.
OK girls, do like we do at Birmingham Walking Football Club. Get up and give it a go.
Hand on heart, this is the best thing you can do. If I can do it, certainly you can too.
There are lots of phrases that describe the experience of playing walking football, but the one I like is walking back to happiness.
Visit the WFA.co.uk and come and join us.